composting and my raised beds. Composting day for me was yesterday, which means I get my bucket out, my head shears, I get all my kitchen waste, garden waste, and I chop everything up. It gets mixed and put into a empty compost bag, and then I open all these up, which are at the top of the plot. They'll all be turned over, but the carpet's on as well to keep out the rain and what's it. But I'll go through these. Once I've chopped up the compost, my ingredients, which are kitchen waste, garden waste, I then get another empty compost bag and a double handful of everything in all these, which are natural products, so they're going to break down. All these lot go into that bag. The first one is my malt. This is spent malt from the brewery. Second one, spent tops. Beautiful stuff. If you ever need anything as you're going along, all you got to do is put it on the internet like breweries, and then put your postcode, it'll give you a nearest brewery. But spent tops and the malt, they have to get rid of it. Next one along, this is worm cast, beautiful stuff. This is off Harry Johnson, mate up Wensbury. He's shield your yield. He's starting off with essential oils. That's going to go because it's far, because it's working well. I'm trying his stuff at the moment, but he give me that. Good man. Next one along. Gosh, the bloody phone's doing. Right, next one, spent mushroom compost. This is another good one. If you notice, all the stuff is spent, meaning it's a byproduct, but it's all natural bloody stuff. This stuff I have now for the trading sheds. I've got a contact down Evesham, but it's excellent stuff. Exactly the same again. If you need it, just put it on the internet in your postcode. Next one, topsoil. People forget to put topsoil in the compost. Just a pinch of topsoil. There's millions of good bacteria, fungi. You need them. Best topsoil you can get, molehills. I've riddled it for you. When I go to Evan to get my osmuck, you can see the nuggets here. But this is mixed with wood shavings. So that's one mixture. I got other muck which we'll come on to. This was is it a potting grit? Oh, I've had this in the garage for yonks. Never knew what I'd use it for. But I'll put a double handful of that in as well. Get the worms, somewhere to bite into. Get it in the gizzards. This is pen peat out my grow bags from the year before. It's where I grow my peppers. Next one, basalt rock dust. This is volcanic rock dust. Comes from Reaming up Scotland. Jennifer, I get that by the ton as well for the trading sheds. Because it's volcanic rock dust, you've got all the minerals and trace elements from down below, which we ain't got up here. Excellent stuff. That goes in with my compost ingredients. Also, all these lot go in my top raised beds, which we'll cover in a bit and all. Another one, osmuck. See the nuggets in here. Either a better one than what you'll get at McDonald's. But anything that's got manure in, that's how you get your worms. This is wood chip. Got a supply for wood chip down the bottom. You can see their own markers. They taken hold because there's been no disturbance. But it's a natural product, and we have this for the pathways. Obviously in big lumps, I'm going to attempt to suck egg. But because it's a natural product, it's going to break down again. That was a new addition a couple of years ago. Another good one, leaf mould. Make my own leaf mould. I've got 6 bins down the bottom. 2 for leaf mould, 4 for compost. This is another dollop of manure. Different area, meaning different structure. And that's sedge peat, which we don't get much of now. Nobody bloody asks for it. So all that is put into another compost bag and then mixed. The smaller the ingredients, the more you can mix, less work for the worms. Right, we're going to have a perv down here. You've also got to have your carbon, which is your cardboard, paper, newspaper and that. This lot watching the SAS on the box last night, because I'm a bloke I can do 2 things, meaning I'm ripping up cardboard boxes and kitchen rolls, and that's part of my carbon, plus your tea bags. Them are emptied in there. Tea bags are opened up and emptied in, so I've got a good bag of them as well to go in there. Something else through trial and error, porridge, worms love it. They get a jug full of that each week and all. Right Ben, have a curve down here. Top orchard. Raised beds all the way down, 1.5 plots. Got to put this fencing up. Badgers, pain in there, Arif. Moles, badgers, intruders, I don't know what's what. Leeks still growing. You have to grow under environments because of the fly and the moth. But the bugger still gets in there. Let's have a quick perv in the tunnel bin. Yeah, this one's clear. Still a couple of bunches of grapes on the top, but I've got my scaffolding boards drying them out. Once I'm dry, they'll get covered in black plastic. Look after them. And down there, just about make it out, I'm drying out seaweed. That was off my mate. Going off last week. Right Ben, you've got to get your leg over. 6 bins, these are the black wall bins. They've got white plastic on, as you can see now. This is to reflect the heat and the light. Very soon, as soon as we start getting the first frost, then the carpets at the back will come round these. I want my worms working 12 months of the year. This is my leaf mould. As you can see down there, worms are working away nicely. I do a moisture check on these every week, 10 days. If I can't see any activity, then I'll give it a good soaking. It's got to be moist to break down. That's through worms, bacteria and fungi. That's my leaf mould. That one is one I'm using. This is ready. This is after let's get them out the road. This is just over a month. Which is good for me in the sense, we'll have a closer look in a minute. Because there ain't no worms in, because I've gone through everything and cleared off, that's ideal for me to use as a growing medium, or very few worms I should say. But I'll show you that later on down there. This is the one I filled up yesterday, i.e. 17th and 10th. Once I filled it up, then I put the date on. 2 weeks from that date, I'm now using it as a growing medium. 3 bits of carpet, first layer, got my babbies there. Next layer, this is something I found out a couple of years ago. You've got to keep these carpets moist, then you'll get the worm activity. And all I do when I top up, this is what I've topped up yesterday. Let's turn this lid over. I don't want to lose my worms. But if I was filling, if I just chopped up some more garden compost, I throw it in there. More shredded paper. I use paper out of paperback books. There's no colouring and there's no glossy, and it's ideal. Worms love it. I put a 2-inch layer of what I've just chopped, a covering of shredded paper, and then water it, and then put the lot in until I've emptied my bag. Then I give it a good watering. Then the carpets get shook, meaning them worms that have in them layers of carpet. Then the extra worms. You'll get your worms in your manure and you have whatever manure in, but you've got extra worms they go through. So this was only put in yesterday. So that is what it looks like when it goes in the bin. That's when it's chopped up and mixed with everything else. I feel the bloody warmth in there. And all you got to do is keep it moist, and the worms will go through the lot. They will multiply rapidly. I've got the food. Keep them moist, keep them warm, i.e. as soon as the bloody cold comes, put some carpets around the outside of the bins, and they will look after you. Me babbies. Put these up here now. This is one I emptied about an hour ago. I put it on one of my top beds. If you don't get in there, Ben. Can you see the runs on the bottom or not? Yeah, that's where the bloody mole comes. I got chicken wire on the bottom. The mole used to come up and they come with bloody worms, so I've chicken wire at the bottom. But now all he's got to do, you can see the run on the bottom. He lies on his back with his mouth open. Bloody worms drop through the wire. So now when I start off again, I put 2 foot of straw in. Then I start putting my ingredients in, which compacts the straw. By the time my compost is ready, that straw still hasn't broken down. My compost come out, you don't get no worms. This is another one I'm using to fill my raised beds at the moment. Because it's solid, I just get the fork in there and break it up. Then get me bucket in and just take it out. I use them to fill the raised beds or as a growing medium up the house, which is what I'm doing. One of my babbies. Gonna have a purr with the beds. Right, more raised beds, less hassle. If they're 4 foot wide, you can reach the middle from either side, meaning you're never going to tread on it, so you've never got to dig it. There's no compaction. That's the only thing I use for digging now. It was surprising how much these beds were made last year. You can see how much they've dropped. So I'll fill this one up. I should fill that one and then start on that one. These have been filled up in the last couple of days with spent mushroom compost, spent malt, spent ops, worm casts. The one I've just emptied out of there, from them bins. That's the mycorrhizal fungi I use from Symbio, Boston stuff. That compost I've just put in there, I'll be using it after a couple of weeks and it'll still have big lumps in, which is what I want, because those lumps hold the moisture, the warmth and the oxygen. If you just use normal compost out of a shop or whatever, you water feed, it's going to go straight through. If the stuff's got lumps in it, there's something there to hang on to it, and that's what I want. So that stuff will be used as a growing medium. This, because it's broken down and it's beautiful stuff. I mean, I can still use this, but I ain't got enough on it. But I need to top up my raised beds, so that's what I'm using this for now. Something else, top dressing. This is spent coffee grounds, beautiful stuff. Obviously you got paper in it, bits of cardboard and all that crap, and these are in lumps, so you got to squash it up. But I get this every week. Anywhere where they got a coffee shop. But all my raised beds get top dressed every year. Well, probably twice a year with this. It's another natural product. It's good stuff, good brew. This is another new one. This is an addition this year as well. I've got somebody with a wood burning stove. So that's going on as well. So that'll go on these lot. Once done to the height of this, it'll have a good watering, and then I shall put on a weed suppressant from Wilco. Put that over, let nature do its bit. Obviously I've got to weight it down because we're open and the winds will blow it up or whatever. But I'll just weight it down and let nature take its course. But these beds are exactly the same as my bins. I do a moisture check every week, 10 days. If it starts drying out, I'll take the cover off and I'll water it. I want nature, bacteria, fungi and worms to work. If it dries out, the soil's just ticking over. I want my soil to work until I start using it again. That's about it, I think, Ben. Hope you have learned something. See you on the next session.